What are your thoughts about adding pea gravel first to cover the laterals and the rest sand? I have not been able to determine if one-way gravel sand or sand alone is superior to the other. Gravel supposedly protects the laterals and keeps sand from plugging up or damaging them.
So this is kind of an old school question, because many years ago all filters started with a gravel base and then built up to sand. In recent years we've sort of eliminated the need for the pea gravel base to cover the laterals and then the layer of sand on top of that. While in theory the premise was good, the filters tended to be much bigger at that time. And I think the pure volume of the filter allowed you to put gravel in and then get enough sand base for the sand to be effective. I think probably what happens, because filters tend to be smaller today than they used to be, is that if you start with gravel and then you put sand, you don't get enough thickness of sand from top of sand down to the gravel to do the effective cleaning. So what my inclination would be is to use all sand. Now, there's two theories on sand as well. There is very coarse filter sand and there's very fine filter sand. Now, if you use a really fine filter sand, you do run the risk of plugging up those laterals, although not so much, but what you will notice is your pressure will run higher because the water has to work a lot harder to get through that fine sand. And I do think that while you get a better filtration by slowing the water down, you also don't get as much output because the pressure is too high in the filter. So everyone's got a little bit different theory on that. I would say all sand. If there's any concern at all, use a coarse sand versus a really fine sand. And unless you're dealing with commercial size filters today, anything that's 1,000 pounds of media or above, you could use the pea gravel base. Anything less than that, I wouldn't.